Stargirl is back after taking its week-long break for whatever reason that was, but we gotta talk about episode 5, because it's leading a little bit deeper into what's going on with the characters and introducing a brand new plotline that's gonna cause some shit going forward. If you haven't seen the episode yet, we're gonna be talking spoilers, so here's your warning before we jump right into it. And of course, if you guys like nerdy content like this, like my breakdowns and all that, hit the subscribe button for more, because it always helps out a lot. Let's jump into the episode now. We finally get the scene where Cindy's finding the gambler's body, and the thing is, they make it look like Cindy had stabbed him because her blade is out, which it's possible that she did. However, I still don't think she did. I just don't think she would do that, because it seems like she's on the right track to be good, and she's doing stuff that a hero would do and trying to be better even though she was raised like a villain. And the reason she shot the gun too is because you can see her transformation triggered while she picked up the gun that caused it to fire. So that's why she got caught pretty much, and that's where she stole the laptop. I really like how Pat fills in Courtney about what's going on with the GSA, and she kind of just shrugs it off, not paying attention because she's too obsessed with Cameron right now. And he's like, "What, do you not care?" She's like, "Well, Sylvester's got the handle of it." And it's just like, Courtney. You're the team's leader and a hero. You gotta be watching over your team. You can't just be passing it off to Sylvester. You gotta be doing it because you're in charge. And I like how she sneaks down in the basement to get Icicle's file so that she can learn more about Cameron's powers and help him with it. Because she wants to help him, but it seems like she's getting too in love with him that something can go down real fast. And it's not going to end well for Courtney. Especially once he finds out what happened to his father. Which even in this episode, Cindy warns her about that. Because Cindy tempts him and makes Cameron trigger his powers in front of her because she knows his grandmother has the powers. So she makes him pissed off, he activates, so she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go warn Courtney and be this good person," and she's like, "Oh, you already know." I like how she tells him that you don't want to tell Cameron about what his father truly is, because he finds out the person he idolizes and looks up to is a villain. That might turn him down a really dark path and make him feel really shitty as a person, just like how Courtney kind of feels because of her deadbeat dad. But Cindy's got some stuff going on for her in this episode, and I was digging it. I like how Cindy helps out Mike and Jakeem as they're getting bullied and just whoops those guys' asses. And you can see Jakeem and Mike are now falling in love with Cindy. I like how in the beginning of the episode, while Cindy finds out that the JSA has now entered the tunnel, she books it the hell out of there before they can catch her there. And when Sylvester sees the painting, he gets freaking pissed off and yells out that the ISA is mocking him even in death. Because he thinks the ISA is behind the murder and what's going on. But they don't know what's truly happening yet. Because I'm actually surprised we haven't got any kind of reveal yet. I mean, I think we're still like a couple episodes away from mid-season, so maybe that's when we'll figure out what's really going on. During this episode, too, we got some cool references to some characters from the DC universe. Sylvester references Dr. Fate and his greatest foe, Wotan. And on top of it, he talks about looking into Dr. Ito's labs, which is Dragon King, with the Crimson Avenger, which is another detective character from DC Comics. And I like how when Sylvester goes to investigate those labs, he calls Beth for help, and Beth is in the middle of a math test and accidentally cheats while using the goggles because it just automatically gives her the answers. Little funny scene. There was a couple little funny scenes between people, like how Jakeem tries to get the bullies to be nicer to them, but instead of being a nicer person, they're just nicer bullies. So they're still bullying him, but they're just doing it in a nicer tone. I like how Mike and Jakeem, after Cindy helps them, recruits her to their new team they want to create, called the All-Stars, which could be a reference to the All-Star Squadron from the comics, which was a superhero team put together in the United States during the times of World War II. So, like, characters on that team were like Dr. Fate, Alan Scott, Green Lantern, Liberty Bell, Steel, Hourman, Hawkgirl and Hawkman, a bunch of JSA characters who are now on this All-Star Squadron team. One of the best things, too, is seeing the Crocs be heroes and them telling Pat and Barb about how they really like doing it, and it's spicing up their sex life because they just love being heroes now, and they feel like they're doing good. And I like how Pat's like, "Well, I don't agree with your methods, but hey, at least you're helping out pretty much." It's fun. I like seeing them. I really like the Crocs in this a lot more than I did in the first season. And I really like their chemistry with Pat and Barb. I like how when Cameron goes to see Courtney while she's with the rest of the JSA, Rick right away is just like, "Get the hell out of here. No one wants you here." He's being really hostile to him, especially because, you know, what happened the other couple episodes ago with Cameron being a dick to the teacher and everyone else. And I like how Courtney gets defensive, protecting him, and Rick gets mad, Yolanda gets mad, like, "You shouldn't be with him, I'm not happy." You know, his father is Icicle. Courtney turns around like, Cameron's not his dad, and she leaves. I'm like, so much drama going on with the JSA. Like, Cameron is going to turn bad, and it's going to turn bad for Courtney as well, because I think she's, like I said earlier, she's falling in love with Cameron, and she's going to do whatever she can to protect him because she cares for him and wants to help him. But because the JSA doesn't trust him, it's going to end really badly. Because as soon as he snaps, Courtney's going to be in the line of fire, and she's going to have to pick between the villain and her friends. Because Cameron will become a villain. I don't think he's going to get redeemed anytime soon. When Cindy went to confront him, she talks about him in the 2nd and 3rd grade going to an art camp, which was like a crazy camp pretty much, where he had to go to psychiatrists and everything because of his anger issues. And that could be his ice powers were manifesting when he was younger, and that might be stuff that was removed out of his memory, so he couldn't remember that. And that's why, but he remembered going to those camps. And I feel like Cameron hasn't been telling everyone the truth, where he might have known partially that he had powers, but he kind of slightly forgot about it, or something. He knew something was up with him, because something is off here, and it's just too many sus vibes going on. Looking like Cameron always had issues. And this probably all stemmed from when his mother died. Let's talk about the ending and what's going to happen afterwards. So we have Beth telling her parents to not help her with any superhero stuff anymore because she's worried about their safety, which I'm pretty sure is foreshadowing her parents getting either hurt or end up dying because of the fact that they can't kind of step out of it and they keep helping her. And also because she's a hero, someone's going to find out her secret identity and do something about it. Then we have Rick fixing the hourglass, and Sylvester talks about how if he has a limiter, the limiter might be the one malfunctioning, so Rick takes it off. In the comics, the substance that Hourman uses to get his powers is highly addictive, so without the limiter, I feel like that's going to be a substitute to kind of get him addicted to the power. Rather than a drug addiction, it's going to be more of him being addicted to the power, which is probably why his father put the limiter on, because in the comics, his father didn't want him to take up Hourman because of the addictive substance of the drug. Something's going to go down here, and I think that's where Rick's path's going to go down. He's going to go into a little bit of addiction, and he's either going to have to overcome it by the end of the season or into the next season. And then Cindy goes to her father's lab to try to find the stuff she needs to probably fix her transformation so that she doesn't turn into a lizard. And then Yolanda breaks in her house, finds the laptop, and you already know that Yolanda is 100% going to go after Cindy because she says, I'm going to kick her ass. They don't actually know what's going on with Cindy because she hasn't been truthful, because I'm sure that Cindy was worried that if she told her team that she was turning into her father, they would turn around and go after her and call her a villain again. And then Courtney's hanging out with Icicle at the end with his creepy grandparents watching them. And I have 100%, I feel like his grandparents are going to manipulate him into turning evil because they don't like Courtney. His grandmother kind of like scoffs and walks away. So something bad's going to happen next episode. Let's quickly talk about that trailer, because if we're going to talk about next episode, there's some stuff to talk about from that trailer as well. So if you don't want to get spoiled for the next episode, thanks for watching so far, and we're going to jump into the trailer now. So in the next episode, it looks like Courtney's going to fight against the JSA because she's trying to help Cameron control his powers, but they don't understand it, and they think that she should stay the hell away from him before he turns and goes against her, which is not good. Which pretty much means this is probably going to be an awakening for Courtney to really figure out who she is and how to deal with this, because I feel like this is also going to be the episode where Cameron finds out about his father, and stuff's really going to go down after this. Next episode is probably going to be pretty insane, and I think it's going to be one step closer to who killed the gambler, and we're going to finally get those kind of threads unraveling. What did you think of this episode? Let me know down in the comments. Are there any Easter eggs that you picked up that I didn't? I would love to know. And if you guys want to see more of my Stargirl videos, I have them all up right now, and I'll be doing breakdowns regularly for other DC and Marvel content. I have my anime theories coming out on the weekend, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything that comes out on NonStopAntonio, and I'll catch you all later.